Over the decades, few names in basketball have carried the same level of respect, trailblazing impact, and resilience as Nancy Lieberman, yet recent reflections on her life and career have led many fans to view her journey with a deeper sense of emotion, realizing that behind the groundbreaking achievements lies a story filled with immense pressure, physical sacrifice, and personal challenges that are often overlooked. From a very young age, she was pushed into the spotlight not just as a talented athlete but as a pioneer in women's basketball, breaking barriers at a time when opportunities for women in professional sports were extremely limited. That responsibility alone placed her under constant scrutiny, as every performance was viewed not just as personal success or failure, but as a reflection of the future of women in sports. While the world celebrated her as a fearless competitor, she was simultaneously dealing with the emotional weight of representing an entire generation of athletes who were fighting for recognition, respect, and equal opportunity. Over time, the physical demands of a long basketball career began to accumulate, and like many elite athletes, she endured injuries that affected her long after leaving the court. Fans who once watched her dominate games with confidence often did not see the long-term toll that years of training, competition, and coaching responsibilities placed on her body. After transitioning from player to coach and mentor, she continued to give everything to the sport, investing her energy into developing younger athletes and shaping the next generation. But this shift also came with its own emotional strain, as the identity of being an active competitor slowly changed into that of a guide and leader. Many athletes struggle with that transition, and in her case, it reportedly involved moments of reflection about time, purpose, and the physical limits that eventually affect everyone, no matter how strong they once were. In addition to the physical side, there has also been emotional weight tied to being a lifelong pioneer in a sport that constantly evolved around her influence. Carrying the responsibility of being one of the most visible figures in women's basketball meant that every success was celebrated widely, but every setback was also heavily noticed, leaving little room for privacy or quiet struggle. Over the years, she has spoken about perseverance, leadership, and pushing through adversity, but fans now look back and realize how much personal endurance was required to maintain that public image of strength for so long. The so-called tragedy that some associate with her name today is not about a single event, but rather the emotional reality of a life spent constantly breaking barriers while quietly absorbing pressure that most people never had to experience. Even as she moved into coaching and mentorship roles, she remained deeply connected to the game, which meant that the emotional highs and lows of basketball never truly left her life. Watching younger generations rise while carrying her influence must have been both rewarding and emotionally complex, as it reflected both achievement and the passage of time. What makes her story particularly moving for many fans is the realization that pioneers often pay a hidden price for the doors they open for others, and that success at such a high level often comes with sacrifices that are not always visible to the public. At 67, reflecting on her journey brings a more emotional perspective, as people begin to understand that greatness is not only measured in records, championships, or awards, but also in the endurance required to sustain a lifetime in a demanding sport while constantly breaking new ground.